How are y'all doing today? So, this is just a quick live that I'm doing as I'm on my way to run some errands. But it's something that's on my heart. It's something that I want to talk about with you all. All right, let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name's Nzali. This is Nzali Takes Africa. This is a space for millennial women who want to live, work, or play on the African continent. If that sounds like you, sis, then this is the place to be. I have been living in Africa for 10 years come June 17th of 2025, 8 years in Ghana, 2 years prior in South Africa, and who knows where else I will go. I've traveled to numerous African countries, and I'm a lover of women living their best lives, women being able to travel and do things. So, being that I have been in Ghana for 8 years, living full-time, working everything here in Ghana, I want to address something that I've been seeing here recently in the internet streets. And that is this concept of, why are we paying dollars in Ghana? If I'm here for tourism, why am I paying in dollars? And to that I say, when you go to Dubai, do you pay dollar rates? When you go to Cancun, don't you pay a dollar rate? When you book your trip to Colombia, Costa Rica, Brazil, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Thailand, Malaysia, all of those places, when you book those tours with those tour agents, you pay them in USD. And you pay a USD rate. I'm pretty sure when you booked your ticket to Thailand, your tour was not $500. Your excursions were not $15, right? And the reason that I know this to be true, for those of you who don't know, I have a virtual assistant agency. I am a virtual assistant. One of my clients is a travel agent. So I have the privilege to see both sides of the coin. I know how much people are charging to go into these other countries. So why is it that when specifically African Americans get online, they want to talk about why things are charged in dollars in Ghana for tourists? I'm not speaking about people who live here in Ghana. I'm not speaking about people who, you actually have some ties to this place. You live here, you have a business here. I'm talking about people who are coming for tourists. People who are coming for 10 days, 7 days, 5 days, excursions, that type of thing. Tourist. Tourism is a business. Globally, a lot of people use dollars because it's just a currency that doesn't fluctuate that much. You may be in a country where their currency fluctuates up and down and up and down. So to have a stable price, to be able to quote people similar prices on a consistent basis, they're going to use a currency that makes sense, right? So they charge in dollars. Right now, there's a group going to Greece that I know of. What are they being charged? Dollars. Is the currency of Greece dollars? No, but those people are coming from the US, so they are being charged dollars. I just left Morocco last month, and for all of my excursions, I paid in dollars. Is their currency dollars? No, but I paid in dollars. And so what I've actually been seeing, hi everybody who's watching, thanks for joining in. What I've actually been seeing is people saying, well, why would I pay dollars when the average person makes $1 a day or $5 a day or whatever the case may be? And you know what I say to that? The person probably could make more than $5 in a day if you were actually a good tourist and spent your dollars here. Tourism is a business. People can't pay people more than what the business is making. Simple. You want the people in hospitality to make more, spend more. Spend more. So then there's an actual viable case for them to pay more, to request more. Like, I'm so confused because I don't hear these conversations when people are traveling to non-African countries. So it makes me feel like, are you trying to cheapen the value of what we offer in Africa? And to me, that's insulting. You go and spend $6,000 in Europe, but you're complaining about $1,500 in Africa, and you call yourself a Pan-Africanist? You call yourself a person that loves black people? How are you a person that is for the development, upliftment of our community when you rather go and spend $6,000 in Europe for a tour, but you won't spend $1,500 in Africa? And if you do, you complain about it as if you are not a tourist. So I want to challenge all of us. I really do. I want to challenge us to think about our thinking. Why is it that we're so comfortable running to the UAE and spending thousands of dollars, but you won't go to Lagos and spend $1,000 without getting online and complaining? Why is it that you feel like you should pay a vendor in Ghana only $100 for a tour when you would go to, let's say, Jamaica and spend $150 to $200 for a tour? Why? Or you would go to Cancun and spend thousands of dollars on a villa, but you don't want to spend that to come and stay in the best of the best here in Africa. Ask yourself, why is that your mentality? Because for me, I look at that as anti-black. It's very anti-black for our people to get online and want to depreciate the value of the experience of traveling as a tourist into Africa. And how are you depreciating the value? By questioning, making issue with the fact that people are charging in USD. Yes, tourism is a business. In some countries like Thailand, tourism is a major part of their economy. It is what has helped them develop their nation. So why, if you are a person who said that you're about African liberation, you're about African development, and you want to tour and spend your money in Africa, you are complaining about a tour that's $2,000 when you spent $7,000 to go to Dubai? I'm challenging you all to think about that. Think about the thing saying. It doesn't matter if the local price for that thing is 5 cedis. The point is, we are trying to build a tourism business in all of the African countries. The same way they've done in Southeast Asia, the same way they're doing in Central America, the same way they're doing in parts of South America, the same way they're doing in Europe. So don't shortchange us. Don't make it seem like what we're requesting is something that is so outrageous. It costs money to do business. It costs money for you to experience luxury in Africa. The same way it does in anywhere else in any other part of the country, any other part of the world, excuse me. So yes, tour agents in Africa, in Ghana specifically, yes, they're going to charge you in dollars. The same way you're charged in dollars everywhere else that you go. Sorry, y'all, I'm driving, I'm running some errands, but I just wanted to get on here and say that because I've seen it so much recently. And again, this video is not for people who live in the country, right? This is for the tourism sector. I want us to manage our expectations of what we should and should not expect in Africa. Because half the time what you don't know is because we're developing our tourism sector here, something that could be a simple task, getting it done here costs so much more. So you're like, oh, I should just be able to hire transportation to pick me up from the airport and take me to my hotel. That should be a simple thing. It may not be that simple here. What if we don't have the car available that you want? That means we got to go above and beyond to go and find that car. And that costs money. Every person that we interface with, you got to put money in their hand to make that thing happen for you. Have you, as tourists, thought about that? You say you want to have certain types of food in your room and all of this type of stuff. Maybe that's not a common dish that we serve in this country. We got to go and find somebody to make that happen for you. That might mean we have to have a specialized chef. That may mean we have to import in ingredients. Have you thought about that? when you're complaining about paying in dollars in Africa. Meanwhile, you pay in dollars as a tourist in every other place that you travel around the world. It's anti-black, y'all. That is an anti-black sentiment. And I want us to think about that. So, if you are a person who doesn't mind spending money in Africa, you don't mind spending USD, you want to come to Ghana and you want to experience what it's like to reconnect with the motherland, yes, there is a tour agency called Posh Getaways by Paris. I'm hosting this tour. It's going to be amazing. I would love to see you all there. We're doing it for December because, you know, December is the high tourism season, of course. So I would love to see you all there. I'll put it in the comments as well. But let me know what y'all think. Is it just me? Am I the only one who finds an issue with the fact that there's so many black people who have an issue with paying dollars when they travel into Africa and Ghana specifically? Meanwhile, they pay dollars everywhere else that they go. Is it just me? Let's see. Any comments? Let me see. How do I check the comments while I'm looking at this right now? Uh-oh. Let me actually pull up. I'm going to do a poll because I want to see if it's just me. You know, is it just me? I actually might get some Nigerian food. I'm pulling up to my lady Nigerian kitchen here. I might get some food from her today. Let me do this poll real quick. Is it anti-black to protest spending dollars in Africa as a tourist? Tell me what y'all think. Yes or no? I'm curious. I want to know. What do y'all really think about that? Because I think that it's anti-black. And I've told y'all why. Right? I've told y'all exactly why I believe that. Okay, so I see Brown Coat Blue says key not to pay foreigner prices is the same everywhere around the world. Learn the local language. So this is the thing. We're talking about tourists. Tourists are not learning the local language. They're not. That's unrealistic. This is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about people like myself who have moved to a country, who've been living in that country for 8 years strong, right? That's a conversation for those people. But the people who are actually tourists, you're coming in for a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month at the max. It's unrealistic for us to think that you're going to learn the language and you're going to be talking and speaking in Tree at the shop. That's not a realistic expectation. So if you're a tourist, you're coming here, you're going to go to Cape Coast. You may go to Kumasi, to the palace. You may go to Accra Art Center, right? If you're coming in December, you may buy an Afrochella ticket to go to the concert, right? You may go to Du Bois Center. You may go to the waterfalls and get a massage by Maya, you know, at the waterfall. Maya has Ma'ati Spa. These are excursions. This is what tourism is. Same way when I went to Thailand, I paid to go on a tour to see Big Buddha. Right? I paid to go on a tour where we got to see the elephants in the sanctuary. Those are what we call excursions in the tourism industry. So people who are traveling into Ghana, they're going on excursions. They have a tour guide, somebody that's taking them around to these different places. Should you not pay dollars for that? Because you pay in dollars to those other places. I really want to know, y'all. Is it an unrealistic expectation to expect that a tourist pays in dollars? And again, like I said, especially here in Ghana, we are growing our tourism industry. We don't have all of the pieces in perfect place. So yes, sometimes things that are simple tasks to accomplish in another country just are not that simple here. Prime example, there was a group of about 200 women who are a member of a sorority. I won't say which sorority, right? But nonetheless, they had multiple of those big, 40, 50 seater buses. They were traveling around the country to different regions to do community service. Well, all right, y'all. So sorry about that. So sorry about that. But you know, this is Ghana. So as I was saying, there's a prime example. There was a sorority that came into Ghana, over 200 women. So they had to get those big, buses that give you about 50 people on a bus, right? So now Ghana doesn't have the best interstate system. So what would be something simple in Europe to do, which is hire the buses, get on the road and go, there's an additional cost in Ghana. You know what that cost is? Having police escort. Why do you need police escort? Because when you have the police escort, you can maneuver through the small roads easily without hitting a lot of traffic, so that your tour can get to where it needs to go at the same time, at the appropriate time. So that's an additional cost for a place like Ghana that you wouldn't find in other countries that have tourism, right? So when we're thinking about tourism, paying in USD, all of that in Africa, yes, it's necessary. Let me see. Brown Coat Blue says, yeah, for sure, pure tourist dollar is fine, but people just don't want to feel taken advantage of. For example, the first time I was in Ghana, a cab driver attempted to charge me $80 for a 5-minute cab ride. That's unacceptable, right? But for me as a tourist, I wouldn't be in a cab because I don't know where I'm going and I don't speak the language. So also, like I said, I think it's a part of this is managing expectations and knowing the country, right? There's some places that I would never use public transportation as a first-time traveler in that location, because it's one of those places where, like, you kind of really need to know how to get around. You need to know the language to be able to maneuver around, right? So some places I will only do like an Uber, right? So when I went to Thailand, I knew in Thailand that the calligraphy was different. I wouldn't be able to read the signs and everything, so I did a ride share so that I could get around, right? So then once I was in Bangkok, I got a little bit familiar with the area. Then I felt more comfortable taking the tuk-tuk. But it took a little while. It wasn't my first few days where I felt comfortable taking the tuk-tuk, because that's not a place where you can do that, right? So again, I really want to challenge our thinking about this. If we're willing to pay USD to travel into other parts of the world, why do we hem and haw and complain when you have to pay in USD when you're traveling through different African countries? My personal opinion is I think it's anti-black. I have put up a poll. I would love to see what you all are thinking, because I think it's ridiculous. Why are we willing to spend USD in non-black places, but you're not willing to spend USD in Africa? Why? And if you're coming as a tourist, who are you coming with? There's some places that are not good for solo travel. The same way you went and Googled what European country is good for black tourists, what European country is good for solo travel, why don't y'all do that when y'all come to Africa? What African country is good for solo travel? It may not be Ghana. It may not be Nigeria. It may not be Kenya. Some African countries are better for solo travel than others. I happen to think that Ghana is a pretty good country for solo travel, right? The local currency is already weak. The local currency, they have not backed it by anything that's worth something at this point. So you coming and spending your dollars is not adding to or taking from. The local currency was weak when it was, because it's not backed by anything. The same way the US money is not backed by anything real. We don't back it with any minerals. You know what really weakens our economy? Not controlling our resources in this country. That's what weakens our economy. What weakens our economy is that we don't manufacture much in our country. And when I say our country, I'm speaking of Ghana, because I'm a citizen of Ghana. We don't manufacture much. We send out raw materials just to import it back as a processed something. That's what weakens our economy. It's not tourists coming and spending dollars. What weakens our economy is that we have certain people who are in political power who are thinking about themselves and not the everyday person. What weakens our economy is that we're not thinking about job development for people. I think tourism is an amazing sector that could create a lot of jobs for a lot of young people if we do it correctly. But we want the right type of tourists. We don't want any type of tourist in Ghana. I'm gonna put that out there. We don't want everybody. We want the right type of tourists. Yeah. The prices are always going to be justified because, like I said, there are some things that take more effort to get done here than it would in another place. And I'm saying that as a person who's been living here for 8 years. Me running errands today is going to take more effort than it would if I was sitting in North Carolina running errands. Something as simple as I want to go get some dog food is going to take more effort, and I'm saying dog food because I have a puppy. That's going to take more effort for me here in Accra than it would if I was in North Carolina. So the price may be higher. Number one, nobody produces dog food here, so it's imported, so it's automatically a higher price. Because it's imported, that means it's not readily available. I may go to the store today and they don't even have it, so then I got to go try to figure out where they sell dog food and my dog can eat again. You guys, I am so sorry. The connection is not the best today. So, I'm actually just going to wrap this conversation up. For those who are watching the replay, go ahead and drop a comment, respond to the poll. Let me know if the unwillingness of black people who are traveling as tourists into Africa to not want to spend dollars in Africa is anti-black. Let me know what y'all think. Okay? I love y'all. Again, I just wanted to challenge some of the thinking around this. Maybe I'll do a longer version or longer form of content about this where I'll get more people to speak to why we do things the way we do them in Ghana and in Africa as a whole. But yes, again, this is Nzali. This is Nzali Takes Africa. I'm giving my real perspective as a Black American living in Africa. Again, if you're a millennial woman and you're looking to work, live, play, whatever you want to do on the African continent, and you're looking for some inspiration, some guidance, some wisdom around that, then this is definitely the place for you. If you're a gentleman, I love y'all. Share this with your sister, your auntie, your wife, your cousin, your daughter, whomever you may know, women you know in the community, your colleagues. Share these videos with them. Let them know that there is a sister that has been doing it for 10 years, and I'm just here to share a little bit more knowledge with them and also to encourage them. So, those who are interested in taking their first trip to Africa via Ghana, which is the gateway to Africa, then I would love to invite you on a tour that's happening this December with Posh Getaways by Paris. We are going to be here from the 26th of December through the 3rd of January. So we're actually bringing in the new year in Ghana. And anybody who's ever been to Ghana during December, you know that is like the perfect of the perfect of the perfect time to come because there's so many activities. There's so many things to do. There's so many people that are coming into town. There's so many concerts and types of events. Like, it's just a really, really good time. And so I would encourage you all to make that trip. Come on over with Posh Getaways by Paris. Once you go on over there, let her know that Nzali sent you. Also, I just want to say that she does lots of different tours. Like I said, she does tours all over. We have a tour in Greece that's coming in September. There's a tour. The Dubai tour already happened, but we do a yearly or annual Dubai tour. Also, if you want a customized tour, like you have a location in mind that you're thinking about, she can organize that for you with the customized tour. We have a tour to Thailand that's coming up in about a week and a half. Yeah, the 21st. So nonetheless, Posh Getaways by Paris is the place to go if you want to travel the world, if you're a travel enthusiast. And she is a Black woman, so let us support each other. Let us spend our money with each other. I think that's the more important part of this than anything. If we're going to spend our dollars, if we're going to be a $1 trillion community, then we need to spend those dollars with us, including in Africa. So that's all I'm going to say. That's my last 2 little pesawa. And I will see you all on the next one. Thank you for all of those who did submit the poll. Thank you for those who have put your comments in the chat. I love that you were engaged. Thank you so much for joining. And I will see you all on the next one. Take care, y'all. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your family and friends. Peace out.